LEO, week of May 20th through 26, 2026. Starspoken weekly reading. Leo. Before I tell you what card came up, I need to tell you something about this card that most people get wrong. Strength looks like a lion. Most people see the lion and think the card is about the lion, about power, about ferocity, about being the strongest creature in the room. They're looking at the wrong figure. The Strength card is about the person with their hands around the lion's jaws. Calm. Unbothered. No weapons. No armor. Taming a predator not through force or dominance, but through composure, through inner authority, through the kind of confidence that doesn't need to raise its voice to be heard. That is what's being asked of you this week, Leo. And I want you to understand that this card is not a gentle card, it is one of the most demanding in the deck, because it asks for something that is harder than any external battle, the management of yourself. The cosmic stage for this week is significant. The Sun crosses into Gemini on May 20th, activating your 11th house of community, of groups, of your networks and your long-term vision. After Taurus seasons focus on your 10th house of career and public reputation, a period where you've been visible, evaluated, performing, Gemini season shifts the energy outward into your social world. Who are you connected to? Who is in your circle? What collective goals are you part of? These become the active questions of the next 30 days. Mercury, quick and communicative in Gemini, moves through your 11th house amplifying everything social. Conversations in groups, messages from people you haven't heard from, ideas surfacing in collaborative contexts. This is the week those channels open wide. Jupiter in Cancer, deep in your 12th house, continues its quiet and powerful work of expanding your interior reserves. There is more depth available to you right now than you typically access, and the Strength card is directly connected to this Jupiter placement. The strength you're being called to embody this week is not performed strength. It is the deep, quiet, Jupiter in the 12th house kind. The strength that comes from knowing yourself. Saturn in Aries in your 9th house applies discipline to your beliefs, your philosophies, your relationship to truth. Are you living by the values you say you hold? Saturn will find out. Love and relationships. The Strength card in your love reading, Leo, carries a message that may initially surprise you. This week is about releasing control. Leo loves deeply and loves expressively, but there is also a shadow pattern that the Strength card is reflecting back this week. When Leo feels uncertain in love, the response is often to increase intensity, to perform love more dramatically, to demand more reassurance, to turn up the volume on a situation that would benefit from quiet. For those in relationships, this week invites you to choose softness over performance in love. Not because you're weak, but because the lion you're taming right now is the part of yourself that needs love to look a certain way, to be acknowledged in a certain way, to receive the recognition you feel your devotion deserves. Let that go this week. Love without an invoice. Give without calculating the return. That is strength. For those who are single, the Strength card in love suggests that the most attractive thing you can offer this week is not your charisma, which is considerable, but your self-possession. The quiet confidence of someone who is completely at ease with themselves. That is the magnetism the card is pointing to. Let yourself be still enough to let others come to you. Your action step this week: let love be quieter than usual. Listen more than you perform. Money and career. Leo, the strength card in your career and financial reading is one of the most quietly powerful positions possible, and it demands patience that does not come naturally to your sign. Here's what it is saying: the professional outcome you are working toward is within reach. But it will not arrive through force or urgency or the dramatic assertion of your capabilities. It will arrive through the sustained, consistent demonstration of exactly who you are, day after day, without the need for immediate recognition. Saturn in your 9th house has been asking you to commit to a long-term professional vision. The strength card this week is the confirmation that the long game is working. What you have been building in your career, the reputation, the skill, the body of work, is accumulating in ways you may not yet be able to see fully. Keep going. The sun entering your 11th house opens possibilities for your professional network this week. Someone in your extended circle may be carrying an opportunity that is relevant to where you're heading. Don't underestimate the power of a genuine, non-transactional conversation with someone who knows your work. Mercury in your 11th house makes this an excellent week for group collaborations, for presenting ideas to a team, for contributing your leadership in a context where others can actually see it. Health and energy. Leo, the strength card carries a specific physical message this week. Your nervous system is asking for a different kind of engagement. Leo rules the heart and the spine, and the strength card, which is all about composure and inner authority, speaks directly to both. The heart, this week, benefits from warmth, pleasure, and the specific joy that comes from doing something you genuinely love, not something productive, not something impressive, but something purely enjoyable. The spine benefits from the kind of stillness that strength embodies, the relaxed alertness of someone fully present without being tense. The sun moving into your 11th house may create a surge of social energy, more plans, more connection, more stimulation. For Leo, this is generally welcome. But with Jupiter in your 12th house reminding you that your depth reserves need replenishing, be deliberate about building in recovery time this week. Watch for the way the lion pattern shows up physically. When Leo gets overstimulated, the tendency is to push through with sheer force of will, to perform energy rather than rest and restore it. The strength card says, this week, restoration is the power move. Personal growth. Leo, the strength card arrives in your reading this week at a moment when the cosmos is specifically inviting you to meet the part of yourself that is hardest to face. Every sign has a shadow, an aspect of themselves that runs hot, that creates difficulty, that requires ongoing management. For Leo, that shadow often lives in the relationship between your need for recognition and your sense of self-worth. The fear, held quietly, sometimes not so quietly, that if you are not seen, celebrated, chosen, you are somehow less real. Less valuable. Less. The strength card does not say this fear makes you weak. It says this fear is the lion. And you are being asked, this week, to place your hands gently around its jaws and be, simply, the person who is not afraid of it. This does not happen through suppression. It happens through understanding. Why does recognition feel so necessary? What would it mean to give yourself the acknowledgement that you currently seek from others? What part of your identity is dependent on external confirmation that you could, this week, begin to locate internally instead? These are not comfortable questions. They are, however, the exact questions that Jupiter in your 12th house has been quietly asking all year. The Strength card says you are ready to answer them. Challenges and warnings. The primary challenge for Leo this week is the temptation to interpret the Strength card as permission to be dominant rather than disciplined. The card is not about controlling others. The only domination the Strength card is interested in is self-domination, the quieting of your own reactive impulses in favor of your deeper wisdom. If you find yourself in a conflict this week, resist the urge to make it about winning. The lion wants to win. The figure in the card wants something more durable than winning. Choose the figure. Watch also for the social intensity that Mercury and the Sun in your 11th house can create, a sense that your social standing is being evaluated, that you need to perform your best self in group settings. You don't need to be your most impressive version this week. You need to be your most real version. Finally, with Jupiter in your 12th house, dreams and subconscious material may be louder than usual. Don't dismiss what surfaces in sleep. Closing. Leo, the Strength card is not a gentle invitation. It is a call to a specific and demanding kind of greatness, the kind that operates with grace under pressure, that doesn't need an audience to perform for, that knows its own value without requiring anyone else to confirm it. This week, be that person. Not the lion, the one with their hands on the lion's jaws, calm and certain and quietly unassailable. Your heart is strong enough for this. Your spine is straight enough for this. And the cosmos, with Jupiter in your 12th house building your reserves and Saturn in your 9th house building your character, has been preparing you for exactly this kind of moment. Your affirmation for this week: my strength is quiet and complete. I do not need to prove what I already know. This is your Starspoken reading for the week of May 20th through 26. If something here landed, subscribe to Starspoken every week, a dedicated reading for your sign. And leave me a comment. Where in your life do you need to stop performing strength and actually embody it? Leo, I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. Until next week, Leo. Hands on the lion.